The Mitakon 65mm f1.4 lens is one of the reasons I divested in the APS-C and full-frame side of photography and invested in the medium format side. Seeing example frames from a GFX camera paired with this lens are what finally sold me. I wasn't able to completely make the switch at first, only having enough bread to get the GFX 50S Mark II to start, but I immediately fell in love with shooting this lens paired with the vintage 35mm glass that I already had. And honestly, I was a little hesitant to finally get the Mitakon because of the dreamlike status that it quickly achieved for me looking around at frames on the internet. I felt a low-grade worry that either I wouldn't be satisfied with the frames that I made with the Mitakon, or that the difference between it and the vintage glass wouldn't be significant. When the Mitakon lens arrived in the mail, I went out and retook some of the initial frames that I had made with the Pentax lens and noticed a slight, yet significant difference immediately. But the difference in sharpness and the lack of vignette wasn't quite enough to make me a diehard fan of the Mitakon lens. So to finally give the Mitakon the attention I wanted to, I brought it along with me on a trip to Chicago and took it for a walk in the Edgewood neighborhood. Possibly hard to tell here, but what is in focus is sharper, and what is out of focus is more pleasing, in comparison to the vintage glass I used. The in-focus area is also larger without compromising the subject separation I was wanting. But the most noticeable difference is that the vignetting of the 35mm format lenses that I had come to enjoy was much more significant than I thought, in most, but not all situations. Also, the color rendition of the Mitakon 65mm is absolutely fabulous. I can wholeheartedly give this lens my recommendation, with one caveat: the weight. It is so stinking heavy. Walking around with the camera on my shoulder felt like carrying a couple of bricks. The 50S Mark II isn't light, but with the Mitakon 65 attached, the pair is nearly too much. Nearly. Shortly after the Mitakon arrived in the mail, I was able to get an irresistible deal on a Fujifilm 63mm f2.8, a lens that is obviously not as fast, but much, much lighter. The weight of the 63mm comes in at 12 ounces, while the Mitakon is 1 pound 15 ounces. With the Fujifilm 63mm f2.8 attached to the GFX 50S Mark II, the kit comes in at 2 pounds and 7 ounces. With the Mitakon 65mm f1.4 attached to the GFX 50S Mark II, the kit comes in at 3 pounds and 12 ounces. So now the question is, which of those two lenses is going to stay in the camera bag? As always, thanks for watching. Please follow along on Instagram at wooden.frames. And make sure to click the notification bell, as the next video I'll work on will be putting the Mitakon 65mm up against the Fujifilm 63mm.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, our dad works really hard on this channel.